Hello, everybody, and welcome here up at BSN Network. Today is Tuesday, May 24th, coming off another big night last night in the world of sports and getting you ready tonight for another exciting night. Should be good. I'm pumped up. Rangers game 4 rather, tonight. Can't get looking ahead to game 5. Game 4 tonight. Fresh off of a big victory on Sunday at the Garden, looking to even the series up 2-2 before we head back out to Carolina for game 5, which will be on Thursday. And tonight's game's huge for the New York Rangers. Tonight's game is huge. It's, you can make the argument other than the game 7, this is probably the biggest game of the year because if you lose tonight, you don't, number one, that means the series has to go to 7 games if you want to win it. And number two, if it does go to 7 games, you don't have that luxury of having game 7 on your home ice. And that means you're going to have to win 2 of the final 3 games in the series on the road in Carolina if you want a chance in this series. So tonight is huge. If you win tonight, if you do what you did on Sunday and you win tonight, you put all the pressure on Carolina all of a sudden in Game 5, because if Carolina loses Game 5, then you're back at Game 6 at the Garden, which is a potential clinching game for the New York Rangers. So a massive game tonight. Can't stress that enough. Super pumped up. Gotta believe in this team. You gotta believe. You gotta be excited. You gotta be hopeful that this team that has been so good all year and coming back, fighting, battling, just continuing to not go down without a fight, you got to feel good about it. So, pumped up for tonight. Rangers hockey, 7 Eastern on ESPN. Sorry I was not able to do a pod yesterday. You all know the schedule. Only about a week left in my baseball season right now. So that means once that's all done with, I will be able to do pods pretty much daily, as daily as I can, and then really into the summer and stuff, will be even more daily, where it's just podcasts, and summer's always a fun time because you have all the baseball stuff. That's when training camp will start in the NFL, so I'll have a lot more coverage on that. You'll have all the stuff going on, NBA and NHL off seasons. Summer's always a great time. Not even in sports, just in general, summer's always a fun time. So that will all be coming out. A lot more content coming for you guys within the next, couple, in this summer. I want to try to do some things with, live streams. Maybe do some, I want to really get kind of advance my channel a little bit is what I'm trying to do, in a way, trying to do some things to try to get my, not channel more out there, but try to get you guys more involved, the viewers, and try to do maybe a little bit more live streams and stuff like that. So I try my best. I'm terrible at technology, so can't guarantee that there will be many live streams, but I'll if I can do them, I've thought some of ideas, Q&As, just live streams of podcasts where you guys can comment and I can answer comments, kind of that kind of stuff. Just trying to figure it out, instead of just the regular pod, trying to maybe do a little bit more and kind of, build on what I've already got going here on this YouTube channel. We got a lot to get to today. A lot to get to. We're about an hour and a half out from the Ranger game, so a lot to get to here in a short amount of time. I'm going to try to keep this to about a half an hour at tops. We're already 3 minutes in, so we're going to try to keep this as quickly as possible. We're going to start off today with the Rangers Hurricanes. We'll get you ready for tonight's game, give you the series update, and really just, cannot stress enough how important tonight's game is. You win tonight, now the pressure is all on Carolina, because that forces them to win Game 5. Because if they lose Game 5, well, oh boy, now not only do they have to win at the Garden on Game 6, but they have to win 2 straight games no matter what. So tonight's big. Tonight's huge. Can't stress that enough for the New York Rangers. So got to get the job done tonight. Then my next topic is going to be in a Josh Donaldson and Tim Anderson situation. A lot went on this weekend between Josh Donaldson and Tim Anderson. It's kind of been the talk of baseball. I'm going to give you my opinion on it. I'm going to give you what I think. I know a lot of people stand on different sides of the aisle on this. I know there's some people out there that maybe don't have a preference and don't really care. If you're not a Yankee or White Sox fan, I have a pretty strong opinion on this of where I lean to, and I think I really lean to one side and don't really see see the other side very clearly. That's just how I am, though, with this topic here. So we'll get to that. We'll talk about it. And then, as you all know, we get into the New York sports update and all that good stuff, finishing things off. Yankees tonight, second game of a 3-game set against Baltimore, looking to bounce back. Yankees right now are a little hurt, a little damaged, struggling a little bit. 3 straight losses. This is rare for this Yankee team, but look, it's a 162-game season. You're not going to win every night. You're not going to win every single series. You're not going to win every single doubleheader. You're not going to win every single game. Yankee fans got to realize this. It's 3 straight losses. We understand that, but you also got to realize our lineup right now is not the normal. Last night was kind of an odd lineup. You're missing some pieces. Some guys are out. You're kind of rolling with a lineup that's got some pieces that don't usually play. Marwin Gonzalez, Andujar's in the lineup tonight. Florial, who I actually like, but he's a guy that's in the minors and a guy that doesn't get many major league at bats. He started the past 2 games, so I don't believe he's in there tonight. Although I'd rather Florial out there than Hicks. But you got to realize, people that are stressing out, there's so many Yankee fans out there I'm seeing like, oh, this team's back to normal. Look, it's a 162-game season. Every team's going to have their ebbs and flows. It's how it is. Every team's going to have them. Every team's going to have them. The Mets had a little bit of a rough stretch. Not crazy rough, but they lost 2 out of 3 against Seattle at home. Against the Mariners, a team that's struggling, losing 2 out of 3 against home against them is a tough one. Even the Mets had that happen to them. It's going to happen. Nothing's perfect. The San Francisco Giants right now, you could say, are kind of going through maybe that little bit of that rough stretch right now, and they're one of the better teams in the league. They are, if they're on a 5, I think they're on a 5-game losing streak after getting blown out last night. They're 3-7 in their last 10, and they're a team that's got so much power and a lot of a good lineup. They're a team that's kind of struggling a little bit. So every team goes through it. Nobody's perfect. There's you're gonna go through your highs, you're going to go through your lows, you're going to go through your moments where you're playing great, and you're going to go through your moments where you struggle. And right now, Yankees maybe are struggling a little bit, 5-5 in their last 10, and they're on a 3-game losing streak. Now, not the greatest time to struggle because you have Tampa coming up. So if you can get right, as long as you get right for that Tampa series, that's all that matters. This Baltimore series in the middle of May doesn't mean much. That Tampa series means a whole lot more. So anyway, a lot to get to. Mets as well. Second game of the 3-game set tonight against San Francisco. Yankees look to even up the series at home. Mets look to take the series win, and which will then set up tomorrow for the sweep. So we'll see how all that plays out. But with all that being said, a lot to get to. Exciting night. Nervous, but I'm very excited for tonight. We got Rangers hockey against the Hurricanes, Game 4, series right now 2-1. And with that being said, this is the BSN podcast. And let's get right into it. So, you know how it's been. It's been a very wild series. Kind of just how things shifted from Game 1, where the Rangers, this series has kind of been all over the place. Because you go Game 1, where the Rangers dominated the first 2 periods, got crushed in the third. And in overtime, they didn't do anything either. Early goal in overtime, Hurricanes won. And then you had Game 2, where the Rangers got absolutely dominated. And then you had Game 3, where the Rangers took advantage, were at home, played very well, played 3 very good periods of hockey. And then you're going to have tonight, and we'll see what's in store for tonight at the Garden. And the Hurricanes have yet to win a postseason road game this year. They are 0-4 on the road this year, and their goal differential is like -15 or something. It's some crazy number compared to what they do on their home ice in PNC Arena there in Raleigh, North Carolina, from what they do on the road, both at TD Garden and Madison Square Garden. Obviously, they were playing the Bruins first round. That Bruins series, the home team won every game. Carolina obviously won in 7. They had the home ice advantage, so they won every game. They won 4. They took 4 out of the, they won. They took. It was a 4-3 series. They lost 3 on the road, won all 4 at home. And this series so far, I know it's only been 1 road game for Carolina, but they lost. And the Rangers played very well on Sunday, and the Rangers needed to play well on Sunday because if the Rangers lost Sunday, we're talking about a game today where it's like, all right, try to win, all right, maybe you win tonight, maybe you win another game, maybe you make it interesting, but that's how big Sunday's win was for the Rangers because falling down 3-0, the series is over. 3-1's one thing. 3-1's very hard, don't get me wrong. But falling down 3-0 is nearly impossible, especially if you're a team that does not have the advantage of home ice. If you have home ice, okay, you're not going to win 3-0, but maybe you get it to like a Game 6. A lot of times 3-0 leads, maybe you'll get the team that wins 1 game and then you'll get it down to 3-1. So that was how big last night's game, or Sunday afternoon, I should say. It was a 3:30 puck drop there at the Madison Square Garden there in New York City. So they obviously, that was more of an afternoon game. Rangers came out, played very good hockey, very solid. Forecheck was good, put shots on net. Igor was excellent. If you want to really be picky, you can maybe say that maybe, the Carolina Hurricanes got too many chances on net, which I wouldn't disagree with. I mean, Igor had to make 43 saves. He faced 44 shots at 43 saves, was dominant. I mean, it was awesome. And 977 save percentage, that's the Igor Shesterkin that we need if we want to continue to win in this series and move on and play the Lightning next round, which I know I'm just way looking ahead, but that's the type of Igor Shesterkin we need. And it was good. And even in the first two games, Igor showed a lot more composure. He showed a lot more, kind of looked like he was finally settling in, because that Pittsburgh series, he was all over the place. Got benched the 2 games in Pittsburgh. You had some people saying, do you start Georgiev? Never happened. Rangers end up coming back. This series was very good in the 2 games in Carolina. I know he let up the soft goal against the Hurricanes on Sunday, but that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but he played very well. I mean, he was stellar. He was dominant. He made 43 saves. The only one was the soft goal. And he made a couple really big saves. There was a couple really good chances by the Hurricanes, and he stepped up big. And that's what the Rangers need, because Antti Raanta on the other side was also very good. And the Rangers got chances. Antti Raanta made 30 saves. The Rangers put up 32 shots on goal. They got chances, and that's what the Rangers need to do. Get pressure on net, and the Rangers did that. And they started off the game on Sunday with the goal 11 minutes in, almost 11 minutes and 54 seconds in, so almost 12 minutes into the quarter, it was kind of a back and forth game, and the Rangers, started to really force that pressure on net. Mika got the goal. It was a great feed by Panarin, and that's what we need from Panarin. Panarin this postseason has done a lot of, stick handling and kind of trying to be too fancy. You know what Panarin did on that? He did one, kind of stick handle, was looking at the goal, kind of did a snake-eyed pass across the slot. Mika was there. Beautiful pass, beautiful shot. Put it right up top post. Antti Raanta wasn't able to get his full body over there in time, and it ends up going in. That's what we need. Panarin, a lot of times this postseason, has been trying to go to the net. Instead of, he's trying to go to a net, and the puck gets, stolen. It's a turnover, and then it's a 3-on-2 the other way. That time, he kind of stayed out, didn't move in much, moved in a little bit, but, passed the puck. He didn't stick handle all the way into the behind the net and then kind of just skate around. He passed it quickly. It was a quick shot. It was a quick goal. And that he put some gas on that pass too. That was not your typical pass across the ice. That was a very quick pass across the ice, and made sure to get it there, because he put it into between like 2-3 guys' sticks. There was, if that pass is slow or that gets picked off, and we're not talking about a goal by Mika. So it was a great pass, great play. Mika, who's done great this season, we're positioning. And he's had a couple really good goals this postseason where he has one spot to put it, and he's put it in that spot, and that's what happened on Sunday. It was that top shelf. It was that top shelf right there. You put it lower, it's a block. You put it lower, it's, his 5-hole was covered. You put it at his chest, he's going to grab it. The only spot was that top shelf, that little corner in the top left, where he had to get his shoulder up and couldn't get it there in time. Mika put it right in that spot. And that's your perfect play, and that's what you need, especially against a team like Carolina. Sometimes it takes that flashy play, and it did. And that's what happens. And that's what the Rangers need to do. Get that pressure, right? Because the Rangers scored 1 goal in 6 periods of hockey in Carolina. They scored 3 in 3 periods. And quite literally, they scored 1 each period. So that just shows you the difference of what the Rangers need to do if they want to win. And Kreider ended up having the goal in the second period. Niederreiter came back with the softie that went between Igor's arms. And that's something where it's just frustrating, but that's something that it's like, all right, look, Igor made all the saves he needs to make. He made the big ones. He let up the softie, but he made the big saves he needed to make. So that kind of, that's kind of put that into the rear view. But, can't stress enough that if the Rangers want to win tonight, you got to, really limit, because Carolina got a lot of shots on goal in Game 3. They had 44 shots on goal. Rangers had 32. Rangers had a lot of chances, but Carolina had too many. And Igor was great, But you can't every game rely on Igor to make 50, 45 saves. He's capable, but you're going to wear him out, and that's when goals are going to start to go in. That's when things are going to start to get wild. That's when things start to get tough. So tonight, the Yankees, here I am. Yankees play hockey, everybody. Rangers, the Rangers, what they needed to do tonight is, really force that, really get that pressure. Defend. Forecheck. Make sure your forechecks online. Get chances on net. And they did that, but your defense also needs to be a little bit better. There was a couple of really big plays on defense. Now, Hurricanes also made some nice plays. They also made some nice passes. That, you got to give credit. Hurricanes are a very talented team. They're going to make passes that set up open shots that no matter how good your defense is, is going to be tough to stop. But it's the odd man rushes. It's the 2-on-1s. It's the 3-on-2s. It's the, not being able to get the puck out of our own zone on a long shift. That's the type of stuff that the Rangers need to eliminate. Look, if Sebastian Aho passes across the slot and Niederreiter's there for the tip-in, nothing you could do about that. Or if it's a slap shot and it gets deflected 5 times, look, it's just how it is. It's how hockey is sometimes. But what really the Rangers need to do is that clearing the puck, not letting the Hurricanes get 6 chances while they're down in your end and one shift. Because then you get tired, your team gets worn out, you're not able to get off the ice, and then you have these partial line changes because you're not able to clear the puck fully. So Rangers really need to stress on that. But I thought the forecheck was very good on Sunday. I thought we had a lot more chances on that. We obviously scored 3 goals, 2 of them in that. One was the empty netter, which I was so nervous because Kreider missed the empty netter, and he had a great goal in his second period to put us up 2-0. But the empty netter that he missed, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, if the Hurricanes score this goal, and let's say they go on to win this game, I'm not going to stop thinking about that Kreider play, and I'm sure Kreider would have done the same thing. So thank goodness Tyler Mott, which was an excellent goal, backhanded it from all the way in our own zone, kept rolling right into the net. Thank goodness he got the empty netter. Because if he never got the empty netter and the Hurricanes ended up scoring, oh boy, that would have been terrible. Because Kreider missed a wide open net. So thank goodness for that. Tyler Mott got on board, and good for Mott. He's been very good. One of the guys on that bottom line has been so physical, so good, quick, good in the boards, good clearing the puck, has been good with the forecheck, can lay a hit or two, has kind of been that tough, gritty defensive guy that we needed, kind of up there with like a Lindgren type player like that. So, it was good to see him get on the board, with a goal. Now, obviously, Mott's not a defenseman. I said defense. He's not a defenseman, obviously, but he's kind of that kind of guy that, gets his stick in places. He's always got his nose somewhere. He's that physical player that kind of brings that defensive element, even though he's a center. And a guy who doesn't load up the stat sheet, but does a lot that that's where the eye test comes in. You watch Tyler Mott play, he's excellent. You look at the stats, well, he doesn't load up the stat sheet because he does a lot of things that aren't on paper that you can only see. So it was good to see him get on the board there. But big things tonight, and big things to take away from Sunday, like I said. Forecheck was excellent. Continue to get shots on goal. Passing. Those passes by Panarin were great. Shoot the puck. Rangers did that. They shot a lot. Kreider taking it from behind the net and then getting into the slot and shooting it. That was perfect. A lot of times earlier in the series, he might pass that and reset. Instead, look, he took a shot. Even some of these, even there was that one chance. I forget exactly what it was. It was the one chance where we had an open net and they missed it. But it was like off a deflection. And we had a chance. Look, when you shoot the puck, good things are happening. Rangers did that on Sunday, and look what happened. They won 3-1. They scored more goals than they did in the first two games combined. So that was big. And like I said, defense, clearing the pucks out of our own zone. We got to. You got to get the puck out of your own zone. There's too many long shifts. So forecheck, big. Shots on goal, big. Shooting the puck, big. When you make that pass, the smart passes, not the turnover ones, the smart ones. And don't overpass it. Don't try to be too fancy. Panarin did what he needed to do. He kind of did that one stick handle, passed it with some gas behind it to Mika, and Mika scores the goal. That's what you need. That's all. It doesn't need to be this, behind the legs, let's, turn around, do this, all that. No. One pass sometimes can be the difference in a game. And that's what took place on Sunday. So those are your keys for the Rangers. And you're at home. The Hurricanes are 0-4 this season on the road in the postseason. The Rangers have been great at the Garden. They are, 4-1 now at the Garden? What are they? Yeah, 4-1 at the Garden because they won. They won Game 2, Game 5, and Game 7, and then they won there. So, yeah, they 4-1 so far at the Garden, and, they've done their job protecting home ice. Let's do it again tonight, even up the series, and, you don't know how big tonight would be. I want us to win so badly. You win tonight, you don't know how much, man. I'm nervous, but I am so pumped up because if we win tonight, you don't know how much this series shifts in the Rangers' favor. You don't realize how much it does. Because if you could steal a game, if you win tonight, and I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but if you win tonight and you go Thursday and you steal a game at their home building, you then have a matchup on Saturday at the Garden, which is the possible clinching game. And going into that game, if they do win tonight, the Hurricanes would be 0-5 on the road in the postseason. So it'd be even worse. So get the job done tonight. Do what you need to do. Big one. You can't falling down 3-1. I know we came back, but the big thing, you don't have that luxury of home ice. 2 of the final 3 games of the series will be on the road. So you got to get the job done tonight. And if you get the job done, it's seriously though. If you get the job done tonight, the series, the Rangers are all of a sudden here, and the Hurricanes are here. That's how big the series shifts because the pressure's then on Carolina because they have to win that game. Because if they don't win, if they lose tonight and they win Game 5 or they lose Game 5, or they, then they go to Game 5 and they lose. You got to go on the road again. You haven't won a road playoff game yet. So that's why tonight's so pivotal for Rangers. Let's get the win, play well, shoot the puck. Get the goals, make the plays, defense, forecheck, are your big things. Those are your big keys. And for the Rangers, look, team continues to fight. This team's got fight. This team's got guts. This team battles. They compete. They don't quit. No quit in New York. And let's keep it rolling tonight. Let's go Rangers. So that's my series update. Coming up next, we're going to get to an interesting situation. Revolving around the Yankees and the Orioles. Took place on Saturday. I think it took place on Saturday. And leaked into Sunday. Today, Josh Donaldson got suspended. Kind of a wild situation. Going to give you my opinion on it, what I think about it, and all that other good stuff coming up next. All right, so welcome me back here up at the podcast. Yankees right now, get ready tonight. Just got news in here. We're about an hour and 20 minutes out. About an hour and 15 minutes out here from the Rangers game. It's 5:46 Eastern. Rangers come out at 7 Eastern. Oh, you know how it is. It's about more like 7:10 by the time they do the national anthem and all that good stuff. But LeMahieu got scratched from tonight's lineup. So he's scratched due to left wrist discomfort. So it stinks because that's another bat out of your lineup. And DJ's been struggling a little bit. So maybe it is something with the wrist. You just hope not because he was injured last year, got off to such a good start this season. I'm trying to think though who's going to be in. It really stinks because now you're looking at it. Hicks is leading off. So this is the Yankees lineup tonight. Hicks, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Torres, Andujar, Falefa, Gonzalez, Trevino, and Monty's on the mound. You got to feel for Monty because Monty gets no run support whatsoever with a full lineup out there, and then you got this lineup with Hicks leading off. You can only hope. Don't want to get too negative. Like I said, I think Yankee fans are overreacting. That's the only issue. When you win a lot and everything's going right, and then you hit a little bit of a road bump, everybody goes nuts, everybody goes crazy, and everybody gets to the point where it's like, oh no, what's happening? This is terrible. The world's falling. Look, you still have the best record in baseball. You still are number 1 in the AL East, and you're against the Orioles. So, in terms of, I don't want to downgrade the Orioles, but in terms of being able to turn this thing around, that's, you're able to do that. It's not like it's like, now, they got to turn this thing around before Tampa, because you can't go into Tampa and lose 4 straight, right? So, if this is the series maybe to hit a little bit of a road bump and maybe kind of rest some guys and maybe, If you're going to lose 2 out of 3 this series, but win 3 out of 4 against Tropicana, okay, so be it. Do that. I mean, against the Orioles, you should beat up on the Orioles, but, this is a line. I mean, you don't have LeMahieu in the lineup. I mean, this is a lineup right now that's beat up. I mean, you got Andujar in the lineup. You have, this is an interesting, Gonzalez. I mean, this is not your typical Yankee lineup. If the playoffs were to start today and everyone was healthy, this would not be the Yankee lineup right now that you'd be rolling out. So that's just how it is. Not blaming on injuries. Guys got to step up, but it's a 3-game losing streak. I've seen a lot worse. So there's a lot of Yankee fans overreacting. But I think this situation I'm about to talk about is completely blown out of proportion. So on Saturday, we all know the history of Josh Donaldson and Tim Anderson. So as we all know, last series, to kind of give you a little bit of a quick storyline of how everything went out before I kind of give you my opinion. Like I said, this is going to be a short topic because I got to end this thing, get it uploaded, and get ready for the Ranger game. So this isn't going to be your long 20-25 minute topic. Going to try to maybe be 5-10 minutes quickly. It's kind of more of an opinion thing. I got a very strong opinion on this and really nothing else to say about it other than what I think. I mean, I think it's pretty clear. I think it's a stupid suspension. I think it's dumb. I don't think it's a bad comment at all. I mean, look, a couple years ago, so kind of give you the storyline. First of all, we all know that Josh Donaldson and Tim Anderson have been going at it. Last series in Chicago, you had the play at third base where Josh Donaldson, they threw down. I guess Tim Anderson said he got pushed off the bag. Donaldson pushed him off the bag. And, they were kind of a little bit of pushing and shoving and a little bit of, kind of yelling. The competitiveness of baseball. Benches cleared, things like that. Everything was all right. Neither player got suspended. Neither player got thrown out. Neither player, threw a punch or nothing crazy broke out. It was kind of just your typical little shove. Look, in the heat of the moment when you're playing a game and you're competing, things like that sometimes happen. And it actually seemed like, from what the TV showed after the play, it actually looked like they kind of made up. They kind of did, it was either they either looked at each other in some way or kind of were like, look, that's on me, or look, we're cool, or whatever. It was kind of one of those things that maybe like it was just in the heat of the moment. Look, you're playing a baseball game, you're trying to win, you're trying to compete. Sometimes that happens in sports. You see it all the time. It happens with teammates sometimes. In training camp, you see it all the time in football, where guys sometimes are competing for the same position. They maybe get a little out of line, start to get a little frustrated, and look, they're still teammates at the end of the day. They make up. But sometimes you get, heated because, you're competitive. Guys are trying to do whatever they can do to help their team win, and that's how it is. That's why a lot of times guys use it as, going to war with your teammates and stuff. It's kind of what it is. You're in a war with another team, and you don't like that other team doesn't like you, and that's how it is. So that kind of took place. It was just your typical scrum, nothing crazy. And then on Saturday, obviously, like I said, this is the weird stretch in the schedule. It's finishing up here with Baltimore, where they played the White Sox, Baltimore, then White Sox over the weekend, and now Baltimore again. So it's kind of been a weird stretch of facing all these different facing the same teams, twice. It's just weird. It is what it is. I'm not complaining. We've actually done pretty well on this stretch, but it is what it is. It's just an odd stretch. Pitching and all that. It's just weird. Either way, back to my point. So on Friday, game obviously got postponed. So Saturday they played, then Sunday they played the doubleheader. So on Saturday, the bench is cleared. Donaldson and Tim Anderson were going at it, yelling at each other, and they end up yelling at each other. Bench is clear. Tim Anderson needed to be held back. Jose Abreu is probably the biggest guy on the White Sox, was having a tough time with Anderson. That's how physical Anderson was being, and that's how, I'm not meaning physical towards Donaldson, meaning like that's how physically and Tim Anderson was trying to get off of Abreu to go chop on Donaldson's head off. That's how it was. That's how frustrated he was. And, in the heat of the moment, as a fan, you're probably thinking to yourself, number one, you're thinking to yourself, oh man, this is going to get wild. They weren't both benches, so if somebody got hit, they would throw the guy out. So it was kind of one of those things that was pretty wild. And the bench is cleared because they were yelling at each other. And then the bench is cleared because Grandal, this is the part I forgot, bench is cleared. If you're wondering why the bench is cleared because Grandal, Donaldson stepped up to the plate. Yasmani Grandal was kind of in Donaldson's ear yelling at him. And it wasn't, and Donaldson, to be honest, didn't really look like he was doing anything. He kind of stepped in, did what he needed to do in the batter's box, and Grandal met him up there. Donaldson wasn't saying much. The umpires got involved, benches cleared, all that jazz. So, anyway, game ends, Yankees win, and in the post-game press conference, we find out that Tim Anderson, or Josh Donaldson, called Tim Anderson Jackie, relating him to Jackie Robinson. Now, there's a story to this. back in 2019, there was a Sports Illustrated article that came out about Jackie Robinson, about Tim Anderson saying that he is going to be the next Jackie Robinson in terms of changing the game, in terms of changing the game with his, changing the game in terms of changing it where there's going to be more fun. He's going to make the game fun again, going to make it more exciting. He's going to do different unique things and all that stuff. There's a whole quote to it. I don't know the exact quote, but it's between the lines of that. And Josh Donaldson in his interview, Tony La Russa, who's a loser, said, he made a racist comment, which is not true because Tim Anderson said he called himself that in a Sports Illustrated article back in 2019. Josh Donaldson, in his post-game interview, said the same thing. He said back in he called him Jackie. Now, and then he gave us, the whole storyline. Back in 2019, he called himself Jackie Robinson. And supposedly, when he was in Atlanta, it was a running theme. And Tim Anderson actually came out and said that in 2019, Josh Donaldson called him Jackie many times. And Tim Anderson said nothing about it, which makes this situation even more wild, because if it's that hurtful, why didn't you say something in 2019? Why didn't you say something in 2019? I don't know why in the world Josh Donaldson gets suspended by this. Josh Donaldson was not trying to be mean, nor was it even a racist remark, because Tim Anderson called himself Jackie Robinson. And it's kind of been a running joke in a way. And I'm telling you what, these guys have said a lot worse to each other, I'm sure. I mean, you look at the way, and I brought this up the other day, and it might seem like I'm all off track here, but just as using an example, Josh Donaldson could have said a whole lot worse things to Tim Anderson than calling him Jackie. And people saying that this is wrong, people saying, look, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But why I think this is a soft punishment and why there should be no punishment is, number one, look, it's guys talking back and forth to each other. There's been a lot worse said between two players in any sport. There has been. There's been a lot worse. I think this is probably better than Ruth Odor throwing a punch at Jose Bautista, if you all know when that took place, right? Remember that? I think this is a whole lot better. There wasn't a full-on fist fight that took place. It's just Josh Donaldson trying to get under your skin. That's all it is. And I keep calling him Jackie Robinson. Tim Anderson called himself Jackie Robinson in 2019. And Josh Donaldson, it was kind of a running joke between the two. Josh Donaldson called him Jackie during all the 2019 season. And Tim Anderson had no issue with it. Obviously he didn't, because he never said anything about it. And now he has an issue with it? It just makes no sense. So I'm on Donaldson's side on this one. And it's not because I'm a Yankee fan. It's because I think this is stupid. I don't even know why we're having this conversation. It's a part of the sport. It's a part of the game. He called himself Jackie Robinson. He said that he was going to be Jackie Robinson in terms of changing the game for make it more fun. So to kind of get under your skin a little bit, calling him Jackie, what's so bad about that? Nothing. So Donaldson's on the COVID list. He's going to appeal his suspension, which I totally agree with him. Now, look, it's one game. If I was in his shoes, I would be very frustrated. But you do obviously got to think, look, it's one game. It's one game. He's going to appeal it, but it's a one-game suspension. If you just take the suspension and move on with it, you could always do that. But I don't disagree with Donaldson here, because I think they need to get this right. He called him, in 2019, he called himself Jackie Robinson. Donaldson has used that term many times talking to Tim Anderson. And it kind of seems like they maybe have a little bit of a beef back and forth with each other. And look, I'm sure Tim Anderson's had his fair share of words for Josh Donaldson, and I'll tell you what. I mean, reading his lips, talking to Donaldson, he was saying a lot of four-letter words to Donaldson during that game. So I'm sure during the bench brawl, I'm sure that there's been a lot worse said. And I just don't get how this is something that's so bad. He called himself Jackie Robinson. Donaldson said he called him Jackie. What am I missing here? I don't think I'm missing anything. I think this is completely stupid. I don't think Donaldson should be punished. I don't think this is a bad comment at all. When you call himself, I mean, it's almost like, I'll throw like Ozzie Smith out there. Or anybody. Maybe another black second baseman out there. If he called him that, would that have been racist? Or would that have been not? It doesn't make sense. I think it's ridiculous. So, I'm on Donaldson's side here. I don't think there's any issue with this. It's a part of the game. Tim Anderson called himself Jackie Robinson in terms of saying he was going to change the game. And Donaldson using that as maybe a tactic to get under his skin. It's sports. It's competitive. There should be no need for a suspension. I don't think this is a bad comment at all. And it's a situation that we shouldn't even be sitting here having this conversation because I think it's ridiculous. So that's my opinion on That's my opinion on the situation. I don't think Donaldson should be punished. I think it's a weak punishment. I think it's just a bad ruling by the MLB, and it is what it is. So you move on and you see where it goes. All right, so now let's get to. By the way, Chapman on the IL. Placed on the IL with Achilles. So you never want to see a guy get hurt, but it might actually help us because he's been terrible. As for the NBA, got Mavericks Warriors tonight. I'll take the Warriors. They commanding lead. Rangers Hurricanes tonight, like I said, and Flames Oilers as well. Rockies, Pirates, Cubs, Reds, Rays, Marlins, Dodgers, Nationals, Braves, Phillies. Twins, Tigers, Blue Jays, Cardinals, Astros, Guardians, Red Sox, White Sox, Angels, Rangers, Mariners, A's, Padres, Brewers, Royals, Diamondbacks, Mets, Giants tonight. Mets, Giants, 22-9. Mets come into this one 29-15. Giants are 22-19. Chris Bassett on the mound for the Mets. He's 4-2 with a 2.77 ERA. Logan Webb's on the mound he's 5-1 with a 3.54 ERA. Over/under set at 7.5. Yankees tonight. Yankees are 29-13. Orioles are 18-25. Zimmerman's on the mound for the Orioles. He's 2-2 with a 3.48. And Jordan Montgomery's on the mound. He's 0-1 with a 3.55 ERA. The over/under set at 7.5. This game goes on tonight, 7:05 p.m. Eastern, and you can find it on Yes. As for fantasy, I'm currently winning 57-20 in my main league, and in my other league, I am currently winning 53-14. So both leagues going pretty good right now. Hoping to continue that success, and we'll see how all that good stuff plays out. So, I gotta make some moves here. Gotta make some moves. I guess I'm gonna put Jared Walsh in for LeMahieu there at the first base or my utility spot, but Johnson Scope's been actually better. I don't know. I'm gonna roll with Jared Walsh. Let me see. Did they an off day yesterday? Yeah, they had an off day, so he'll be playing tonight. So I'll put Jared Walsh in. What about my other league? We're gonna go with Luis Arraez. He's already in the lineup. I'm gonna put in Andrew Vaughn for that over Avisail Garcia. So that's that. Let's see. Yeah. All right. Anyway, that will do it. We're about an hour out from the Ranger game, so I gotta finish this up here, get this uploaded, and get ready for the Ranger game. So that will do it. As always, I will see you all back here tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.